He's just doing the Bowser thing he's always wanted to do. Oh, I'm sick. Ugh. I can't be held responsible for my actions. Let me terrorize the populace. Arr. Moisturized, thriving, in my lane. And that lane is a video game podcast. Welcome to this episode of The Andy B Show. It's episode 28 for Monday, December 1st. You'd think we're done with video games as this year winds down, but that's simply not the case. I think there's a little more time to play games and a little bit less time talking about the fast-moving industry as people kind of get ready for the holidays. We just went through a holiday weekend here in the United States with Thanksgiving weekend. Some people were still celebrating by buying stuff. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday. What's Sunday? Please go to church? Like, I don't know. Like, why haven't they monetized Sunday in some way? That's interesting. I haven't really considered it until now. Yeah, it's time for one more of these shows. Thank you for listening. I'm so glad you're here. I've played some video games this week. Maybe you have too. We should talk about them. One of the things I've been playing already, and a lot of, because you know it's time sensitive, because I need the shirt. I've been playing some Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is a video game that released in 2020 on the PlayStation 4 and eventually 5. Not sure if they had a 4 and 5 version at the same time. I can't really recall. What I do remember for sure is that it was on the PlayStation 4, and then they had a PlayStation 5 version, and then a director's cut, which includes the expansion and some extra doodads and hoopla and whatever else they put in there. It's hard to tell looking back. Like, there's no way to know, like, what is it now? What now is in there that was missing? And you have to be like a video game archaeologist to figure that out, I find. Yeah, it's been interesting playing Ghost of Tsushima this week, especially because I've been streaming it. I've been streaming it on the internet on youtube.com, and it has been just an interesting experience for me because I'm not a video game streamer. I've been a video game player for a really long time, but recently I bought this Elgato 4K capture card. It was reasonably priced, inexpensive. I think it was like $130, something like that. And there's other ones out there, but I know this brand. I have a lot of Elgato gear powering up my work life and my home life for content creation and fun. And so I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. A couple of streams. I think I'm 2 as of this recording, 2 streams in. But it's like, hey, if I'm making a lot of progress on it and I could stream it and have some fun, why not? So it is a lot of fun. I'm used to at work, responding to chats that are in a chat in a meeting that we might be holding, and going live, talking about topics and kind of keeping a room moving. And it's like, there's a lot of related skills, a lot of skill stacking that goes on between what you might be doing at what I might be doing at work, and then also playing video games. Let's combine the two. But this doesn't feel like work, but it is kind of a different type of performance, right? Being able to stream online, talk about the game that you're playing, and play it, and interact with the chat, and make sure that your computer doesn't like go on fire. Because I've offloaded the actual playing of the game to a different system. My little Mac Mini, which is pretty powerful. It's an M4 Mac Mini with it's got a terabyte hard drive and 24 gigs of RAM. So it's no slouch, but it's a small machine. It's not a super powerful machine. I don't think I guess it could probably run Cyberpunk. I haven't bothered to purchase it to find out. That's an expensive find out, since I already have the game elsewhere. But I've basically offloaded the playing of the game to, the PlayStation or to the Switch. I haven't streamed anything on Xbox yet. So all the computer has to do is encode the stream and my video and then bounce it out. So I'm streaming it out in vertical mode and in widescreen mode. When you stream it out in vertical mode, people on their phones that are flipping through YouTube Shorts, it'll pop up in there. And so I had like 200 people roll through the stream from the vertical side, and they come out. They'll chat with you. They'll hang out for 30 seconds to 5 minutes, depending on whether you're playing a game they like and if they like you. Somebody called me Unk in the stream, which I had to explain to my wife, means that they think I'm old and compared to them. But also, it could be a term of endearment. They might like what I've got to say or how I'm doing it. Anyway, I had a great time. Yeah, we had a bunch of folks. I think 10 folks came out for the widescreen stream, which is probably like people that already follow me on YouTube, or they got notified that I was out about streaming. And then 200 people came through the vertical stream for about 3-4 hours of people like watching the game that I was playing, which I think is super cool. It felt neat. Like I really enjoyed it. I ended up writing an article about this on the Gaming 411 newsletter called Hot Tips for New Streamers. You can find that over on patreon.com, where I kind of talk about some of the things that I've learned about being a video game streamer. Again, the main thing I do every week is this podcast. The podcast and talking about the games is the thing. Streamers live like a different life. Like for people that are like, they do video game streaming, they have built their life in such a way that I'm going to make a blanket statement and I'm going to back it up with exceptions. Let me just start there. The blanket statement is they've built their life or have a life in such a way that they can stream for hours at a time, because most of these video game streamers are streaming for 3 and 4 hours. Or some of them are doing it full time. They're doing 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day. And they just have a different life than I've got, right? Where I've got, a full-time job, family, kids, right? So my streams are like an hour to 90 minutes on a holiday weekend, which is to say most weeks I'm probably not going to stream. But I might with this one. I don't know. It's pretty lightweight. I sit in the same chair that I'm in right now and I start streaming. You just pull up the game. It plays on my computer monitor. It's the kind of thing where it makes me want to upgrade this computer monitor. I have a computer monitor that's a 34-inch LG LCD ultra wide. So it's not one of those like 49-inch ultra wide. I think I'm not even sure it could fit in my current desk configuration, but it's wider than the regular widescreen. So it's great for work. I can just have one monitor and do everything, which is sacrilege to some people. But for me, it works really well. And I don't know, like if I end up playing a bunch of video games on this, I probably want to upgrade to an OLED. And OLED is what I play video games on now. Like I have an LG OLED TV, kind of the best. I don't think I've ever seen a better TV in my life, and I'm not sure they can make them any better. There's something special about the way those OLEDs look. And so LG makes, not just LG, but I think there's only a few OLED panel manufacturers in the world, and LG is one of them. So why not just buy from the source? The LG OLED monitors are expensive. It's been Black Friday to Cyber Monday weekend as I record this, though. It's a pretty good time to buy one, but I think to replace the one I've got with an LG OLED is like even on sale, like $400 to $500. So it's not inexpensive, and this one works, but it is like, I'm taking a little bit of a step down in video quality. But the experience in playing it is so much different because I've got this active chat going. They're commenting on what's going on in the game. I don't know. I can see why people enjoy doing it, even just as a hobby, just for fun. Just like, well, I'm going to get out there and stream some video games. Because if you've got people that, like the vibe that you bring, because, here I'm doing the podcast, right? Maybe you like listening to me, my voice, or we've just connected. I had a couple of mutuals on Thread. Bizarro Cactus came through from Threads, and we end up, connecting on a bunch of posts. And he came through and hung out for like half an hour, 45 minutes, just chatting while we're playing the game. So it's like a different type of connection. I'm gonna keep doing that. I need to beat this game because, as you know, I need the shirt. I had to explain to a lot of people. They're like, "Why are you playing the first game and not the new Ghost of Yote?" It's like, because Ghost of Yote does have an exclusive shirt, but you have, I think, until like March or April to beat it. I didn't expect to appreciate somebody giving me deadlines to play video games, but it creates a goal. I should give more people deadlines on things in my life. Maybe they would enjoy it the way I'm enjoying it. You need to get over here by 2 p.m. or else. I've also been playing some Super Mario Bros. Bowser's Fury. So that is very different than Ghost of Tsushima because, number one, you can play it with the kids, not just in front of them. You can't play Ghost of Tsushima in front of your small children, I don't think. I don't recommend it. But Mario Bowser's Fury was I don't know if it was supposed to be an expansion pack, but it was a game that came out with whatever the Super Mario 3D World. Came out on the Wii U, which I didn't own a Wii U because I don't think a lot of people owned a Wii U. Relatively. It was like a big drop after the Wii. And so a lot of people didn't get to play a lot of the Wii U exclusive games. So Nintendo has been like on their, on point, on game the last few years, trying to get them over to the Switch. And this is one of the ones that they brought to the Switch. And I'm playing it on the Switch too. I think it's had a free update to be 60 FPS and whatever. I can't super tell with this one because the Mario games are always like super good performers anyway. Like I didn't notice a dramatic difference on whether or not it's playing well. But the Bowser's Fury game is a pack-in that came along with Super Mario 3D World. So if you bought 3D World on the Switch, Bowser's Fury came with it, and it's a totally separate game. And I suppose it's not as big of a game, but it plays like a 3D World game where there's not levels. You have this open world area. It's pretty small, and they have a ton of shines in there that you have to go collect, a la Super Mario Sunshine. They call them shines. But you get into the different costumes that you would get into from Super Mario 3D World. The cat suit, the Tanuki suit. I forget the name of the one where you can throw the boomerang suit, maybe. So you have like 4, 5, 6 different suits that you can get into and solve puzzles around the world. But every few minutes, this giant Giga Bowser shows up and wreaks havoc. So Bowser is sick, I guess. He's corrupted somehow. That's his excuse. Like, he's just doing the Bowser thing he's always wanted to do. Oh, I'm sick. I can't be held responsible for my actions. Let me terrorize the populace. Yeah. So he's out there like Godzilla scale, huge Bowser. And the world turns dark and rainy when he comes out. And it's very dramatic. And if you collect enough shines, every once in a while, you'll earn an opportunity to fight him as a giant Mario cat. And it turns into like a Godzilla fight, like huge monsters fighting each other in front of this, tiny little city. It's very funny. And they have a great co-op mode. So my youngest B, she likes to play along. She plays the co-op person, like doesn't have to play, right? You can't, it's still a single player game with an optional co-op. And like some of these other Mario games, I didn't play Mario Galaxy 1 or 2, though they did just re-release those for Switch and Switch 2. They would have a co-op mode where somebody could be the little star that would follow you around and shoot enemies and help out and capture things. And they have special little abilities that would make the game fun or easy and give the kid that's playing with you, probably significant other, something to do instead of just watch you play. And this game has that. So it was probably think about the timeline of the games. I guess Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 came out and then Super Mario 3D World. So they'd learn, and then Bowser's Fury. So they kind of learned their lesson about what do we give a co-op person to do. that's fun and useful, but not game breaking. And this one's pretty good. So Bowser's kid, one of them, is floating around on one of those little flying. I don't have the word. Some Mario historian could come give me all the words for these, but you have a flying Koopa kid, and they have a paintbrush that's magical and shoots things and paints the walls and uncovers secrets. And my little kid loves playing as that. So we had a great time playing Super Mario Bowser's Fury. So definitely recommend it if you're into Mario and you haven't already played Super Mario Odyssey or Donkey Kong Bonanza and you just need more. I think Mario Odyssey, I don't think has like a 2-player helper mode, but I haven't played it since it came out, and my kids are too small to care about that back then. So I should plug that back in. I think that one also just had a Switch 2 update. So Nintendo's going through the back catalog. If it was a Nintendo Switch game, they're going to find a way to update it for the Switch 2. And if they can't do it in a way that allows them to charge you $10, then they'll just give it to you for free. And it's going to be a resolution bump, performance bump. And that's what it's been with Super Mario Bowser's Fury. And I think that's what it is with Odyssey. Yeah. Okay. I mentioned on the Patreon, I had the new Gaming 411 newsletter come out. It's the third week in a row that I've narrated the newsletter as well, NPR style. It's a little bit different. I'm reading the article versus just extemporaneously doing the show with topics like I'm doing for you right now. It does take me a lot longer to write the articles when I know that I'm going to narrate them, though. So I'm finding I'm spending almost as much time doing the Gaming 411 newsletter as it does to prep and publish the podcast. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that. I like it. I think it's fun, but I'm going to have to find a way in the workflow to make it fit in my life. So I can't spend 2 hours doing a newsletter on Saturday, but that would have used to take me, 20, 30 minutes. So I'll have to figure out, see what gives there. Maybe I stop doing custom art for the newsletter, a custom thumbnail. Maybe I just kick the newsletter out. Maybe I stop doing the narration. I don't know. But all those newsletters are free. You can go to patreon.com/theandybshow to get them for free. I think issue 17 just came out, so we're doing those weekly. And I'm also considering a new benefit for our friends of the show level folks. You have to let me know how you feel about this. I'm going to try it out starting this week, which is this show comes out on Mondays at 4 p.m. Central. But I record it the day before, usually, sometimes a couple of days before, depending on what I got going on. But usually it's the day before. I edit and post the podcast up to the podcast overlords, Spotify and YouTube, with a launch date that's Monday at 4 p.m. So what I think I'm going to do is say, hey, if you're a paid subscriber to the show, when I upload it, I'm also going to upload it to Patreon as just like a separate video. And you could just have it early, like actual early access. So that probably will only get you 12 to 24 hours of early access, but sometimes it could be days, 1 to 3 days early access. So thinking about doing that. So you can go over there and subscribe for free, or you can subscribe to be a friend of the show. I don't really want to make it a separate podcast feed. There is a separate podcast feed that's exclusive to friends of the show subscribers on Patreon. And those are exclusive episodes. Like, they don't come out in the main feed. I've reserved the right to publish them in the main feed at some point if I need to. I think it's much more likely that they'll never come out in the main feed. They'll always just be exclusive episodes. So I don't want to mix the same episode that you'd get in the regular podcast in with the exclusive episodes. So I'm going to try. I thought about it. I looked it up this morning. I spent too much time looking at it this morning going like, how would I do this if I just want to give somebody early access to it and without giving them like double entries? And there's not a way to do it. You either come up with another podcast feed, so that'd be 3 feeds. Seems like a lot. Or you just publish it as a video/audio as a post just for subscribers. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll see how it goes, because you can just play that either as audio or video file. And then if you enjoy it early, great. And if you just want to catch it in the regular feed when it shows up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or somebody's listening out there on not just Overcast FM. There was another one that was like Stream Something. One of you out there, maybe more than one of you, maybe a bunch of you, are out there listening now on something called Podcast Addict. That's showing up in the stats, so that's cool. So that's all from the main RSS feed, though. And if you want to listen to any of those apps, God bless. Like if it's a non-Spotify, non-Apple podcast, you got an app that you like that picks up the RSS feed from Spotify, totally cool. Like, I don't care where you listen to it. I want you to listen to it in the app and the place that makes you like happy and comfortable. Most people, I don't understand this, listen to it on the web browser, not the YouTube. Like, I mean, people watch YouTube wherever they're going to watch YouTube, but 68% of folks listen to this show on a web browser, which implies to me that they being you, are popping open a tab and like playing it while you're working or something like that. So I think that's super cool. Like, are we hanging out at work right now? Am I helping you get through your day? That's crazy. It feels exciting in a unique way. So anyway, thank you to everybody that's joined the Patreon for free. There's 17 of us over there now, and 3 of you are friends of the show. That means you spend a little bit of dough each month to financially support the show. And I'm trying to find ways to give you your value's worth. But some of you, like, there's not a lot of like exclusive stuff. There's a couple of exclusive episodes. I'm trying to add this as a new benefit of giving you the show early for those of you that just can't wait. But I think most of you that subscribe, I just like what I'm doing and want to support it and have me keep doing it. You probably don't care about exclusive episodes. I don't know. Tell me what you care about. You probably just care about supporting the show and having me do it. So thank you. At whatever level of support, wherever you follow me, thank you. But if you're a friend of the show, which is like $5 a month, you're going to start getting the show even earlier on the Patreon app. There's that. Thanks. Okay, let's head into news because, gosh, there's a lot, and we're just going to we're going to roll through it. I can't believe how much news there continues to be as we like head into December, but it's nuts. Xbox has a ton of extra games that are hitting. There is the big one, because there's a bunch of small ones. The big one is Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Marvel Cosmic Invasion hits, I think, as this show goes live. I think. That's not it. It's not an interactive horror game. But over from IGN.com, they've got The Fix. And I'm going to scroll through this a little bit here, but they've got, Wave 2. They showed Fortnite Battle Royale. Technically, that's true. All right, so Moonlighter to the Endless Vault comes to Game Pass. So that we talked about Moonlighter last week. They got something called Kulabra on the Savage Planet. Is that like Escape from Savage Planet? The Crew Motorfest. The big one is Marvel Cosmic Invasion. That's the one I'm thinking about. This one is the beat 'em up, the 4-person beat 'em up. Looks awesome. Makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside if you like the old video games from the arcades back in the 80s and 90s, really mostly 90s, I think, when they were like this. So that's December 1st. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, that's today if you're listening to this at show launch. It features dynamic combat combos and dazzling pixel art, a planet-hopping adventure that stands as a love letter to the Marvel Universe. It's got local and online play and a drop-in and drop-out adaptive system. I think you can buy this in multiple places, but it's coming soon to Game Pass Ultimate. Like, I don't think it's exclusive anywhere. The thing I still want to know, and I don't know, and I'm like reading about it live, is whether or not they have progression. I still care about whether it's got progression. Whether you level up anything permanent along the way. So that is coming out. Then I don't think this one is on Game Pass. Path Traveler's coming out. That's not. Where's my Game Pass list? Like, I lost it. Anyway, that's the big one. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I'll tell you what's just as big and just as exciting for everyone, no matter who you are or where you're from or whether you were around in the 1980s playing the video game Bubble Bobble, but there is a new Bubble Bobble coming out. Say this a little tongue-in-cheek. I played the heck out of Bubble Bobble back on the NES. That's the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I guess there's a new one. It kind of looks like a mobile game. Like as far as the ad that plays, like it looks bad. But then I watched the whole gameplay trailer and I was like, that kind of looks like the old Bubble Bobble gameplay. Like you have this weird little dinosaur, and I'm not playing the music, but the music is like they've got that old theme. But you blow bubbles to capture the enemies, and you pop them to beat the enemies, and then you go to the next part of the stage. They've added in like a bunch of sugary, bakery themed levels, and I don't remember that there was a lot of food involved in the original Bubble Bobble. That doesn't, like, I feel like that's a new style that they put in. I don't remember it being like a food-based game, so that must be new. Like there's donuts and bananas and just a lot of like, if you had a continental breakfast at a hotel this year, those items are featured in this game. Craziest thing about it is that it's a run-based game. It's also a roguelike. You level up your abilities and your bubbles, and they have different, fire and water bubbles and everything. On the one hand, I want to be sickened by that. And on the other hand, that's what I'm asking for from nearly every game. Like, don't just give me the base game. Give me something that's leveling up along with me as I play. I'm asking for it. I asked for it a minute ago about Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and yet it feels bad that they're doing it to Bubble Bobble. I don't know why. Can't explain it. Bubble Bobble. Everybody, enjoy. It's out, or it's coming out. I think it's out. It came out over the holiday weekend. Something that's coming soon that will cost you way more money than Bubble Bobble if you enjoy the whole thing, I'm sure, is a new Destiny 2 expansion. Destiny 2 Renegades. I haven't played Destiny 2 much since the Final Shape came out. I played a lot of Final Shape, and it was a great end in my mind to Destiny 2. I tried playing I got real dumb and I bought like the fancy, version of the Final Shape, which included all the expansions and everything else that was going to come with the expansion. But after the Final Shape story ended and, I didn't do the raid, but the dungeon and some of the after stuff, I was like, man, that was amazing. What a cap on 10 years of Destiny. And I just didn't want to play. I was done. I was like, why are we still playing? I guess the story has to continue. It's a live service game, but I was done. So I haven't played it in about a year and a half almost. But this new Destiny Renegades game has a Star Wars crossover. They got Star Wars in there, and they're doing like lightsaber praxis blades, they're calling them. They got some Star Wars inspired armor. The expansion follows the Drifter facing the Barrent Imperium in a space western revenge plot similar to Forsaken. Does that mean that the Drifters, they're going to kill the Drifter? Because that's what happened in Forsaken. Just wasn't the Drifter. Yeah, it is lightsabers. You're throwing lightsabers. I just watched somebody force throw a lightsaber. You got Han Solo's pistol in there. I don't know. Are they going to do the music? It looks pretty good. It's the same game it's always been, which is to say, the basic structure of Destiny 2 has been reworked, but it was a solid foundation that they started with, right? They've added things, they've changed things. Look, it's been going on Destiny 2's only been going on for like 7 years, but there's a lot to it. Anyway, this looks pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to play it. Can I really get back into Destiny 2? I'll tell you when I can't get back. After I get this shirt. December 2nd, though, is when this Destiny 2 Renegades trailer comes out. So if you're listening to it, to this show when it comes out, that comes out tomorrow. Something to look forward to if you're into Destiny 2. New games have come to Nintendo Switch Online, classic games. So if you're into games like Battletoads, Ninja Gaiden 2, or the Game Boy versions of Bionic Commando and Kid Icarus, those are some new games out there. Those are already out. On Nintendo Switch Online Classics, I've been playing WarioWare with the kids. That's a fun one. That was from the Game Boy. What games keep coming out? There's more. The PlayStation Plus games are coming out. These are the December monthly games. I think these come out this week as well. And they have 5 of them. There is Lego Horizon Adventures, just the Lego version of Horizon Zero Dawn. We have this on the Switch. My kids have never really gotten into the Lego games. I've enjoyed them. Mrs. B has enjoyed them. And the Horizon games are just a little bit too violent to get the kids into. Like, it's okay when you're just hunting the dinosaurs. They like the dinosaurs and the way they look, the robot dinosaurs. But you end up having to fight a lot of people, and it gets violent. It's a little much. Speaking of violence, Killing Floor 3 comes out on PlayStation Plus. The Outlast Trials. Those are like horror games. Synduality, Echo of Ada. What is this? Takes place in 2222. 2222. Years after a mysterious poison rain called Tears of the New Moon wiped out most of humanity and birthed deformed creatures that now hunt the population. Sounds relaxing. I can't tell what this game is, and the description only lets me know that you're going to fight in an apocalyptic place. And there's a game called Neon White. You're an assassin handpicked from hell to compete with other demon slayers. I've heard that one's like a pretty good game. I don't know. So there's not much in the PlayStation Plus like monthly games for me. This month there's just not much there, even though there's a bunch of games. But depending, look, they can't all be Alan Wake 2. That was a great month in October. You got one of the, biggest and best games of the last year on there. That was a big deal. What else is in the quick hit news before we get into some deeper stories? Yeah. Okay. Here's this one. This one's making the rounds, which is that Epic Games, which has a competitive store front for PC to Steam. Of course, Epic Games also makes Fortnite. Maybe you've heard of it. Epic Games boss Tim Sweeney thinks stores like Steam should stop labeling games as, quote, made with AI. He says, quote, it makes no sense for game stores where AI will be involved in nearly all future production. So you can bet that with the pace of development on Fortnite, that those developers are using different types of AI. AI is not just, generative AI that creates an image that somebody uses as box art that everybody goes, that's AI slop. It looks bad. You should feel bad for having made it. We don't like it. Why didn't you hire a human artist to do it? There's artificial intelligence in the form of machine learning. It's very difficult for you to do anything online today where you're not affected by an algorithm. That's machine learning. You might say that is artificial intelligence. But nearly everything that I do in my daily workflow uses some kind of AI. It doesn't mean that I'm producing slop. And obviously, I'm recording this podcast from my mouth to your ears with no AI. I'm not, outsourcing this to 11 Labs or whatever AI voice studio is trying to advertise. What if you did your podcast without you having to do your podcast? No, thank you. Doing it is the thing. And that's where this is so, like, the line is very hard to understand, because developers are going to use AI generated code. We're going to use AI to help, do all kinds of things in the workflow, but nobody wants slop on the other end. So I responded under this Threads article somewhere. I can't find my post. I said, what I assume he means, him being Tim Sweeney, is that he doesn't want games that are using machine learning and AI and workflows to have to label themselves as made with AI. The problem is there's this line on, hey, our developers are able to work better, get more done now, over to the consumer noticed we made AI slop and it feels bad. And that requires disclosure. More and more networks, LinkedIn does this. If you make a post and put an image up that was made by ChatGPT, LinkedIn will flag it as AI content. If you put up a bunch of AI stuff on TikTok, AI video there, they'll flag it as AI content. And if you don't flag it, they might downrank you. Like if you knowingly put up an AI generated video and didn't designate it as such, like they might downrank you. And I think it's important to, but where's the line, right? Like digital artists use tools that are very different than handwritten art. So we're using tools to do that. And where's the difference between, like, they used a patterned brush to create, improve their workflow in creating art. Where's the line from, like, well, I didn't do this. I'm not the artist. I just gave it a prompt. And I think that's where most people get mad about it, is like, well, I just did a really fancy prompt. It's like, well, then you're not the artist. And the machine learning algorithms were trained on so much art that nobody gave their rights to. And that's, like, I heard that folks are getting fed. I don't know if this is true because I don't listen to music on Spotify, just podcasts. But I've heard from folks that do listen to music on Spotify that they are getting AI music, like, filtered in to their mixes, their playlist. And it's not disclosed, and they don't have a way to opt out. They have to go look it up and go, is that AI? And then they go look it up and they go, oh my gosh, it was AI. I don't know if that's true. Could be apocryphal story about somebody's Spotify listening experience. I don't know. I don't use Spotify for music. But that would feel like, I think you need to disclose it. And I also think it's okay, just like, hey, this microphone was manufactured in Taiwan and assembled in the USA. It's like, give us a bill of materials on the content that we're producing. They do it all the time in the credits of video games. This studio handled the multiplayer. This studio handled the cinematics. This studio what's the problem? Like, hey, 67% of our code was generated by AI. Maybe that's hard to track, but you can track it. Hey, 47% of our art was generated by it. Nobody wants to say that. And it can be hard to provide stats on this stuff. So where's the line? And I think that's where Tim Sweeney's at. Interestingly, under that post that I made, that response that I made, somebody who's a game developer at Epic Games responded to me, and they just said all of this. In other words, they, I think, agreed with my post, but I'm not sure. I was just interpreting what Tim Sweeney said. I wasn't trying to say one way or the other, whether it was good or bad, that he doesn't want them to be labeled. I will say, I think it needs to be, I will just definitively say it. I think they need to label what they're using AI for. And I think it could be as simple as, hey, we use AI in our coding workflows for developers. We use AI in our storyboarding to get a bunch of ideas out there really quickly. And then where we don't use AI on is, models in the art, or we didn't use any AI on the music, or what, like, to put it out there. Say what you used it for. There will be a time where maybe we don't care about this anymore, but we're not there yet. Tim Sweeney's there where he didn't want to care about it anymore, but we're not there. I think we should care about this because we want to know if humans are being displaced, I think. And we want to know specifically around, this is what this really is rooted in is, are video games art? Do you remember that fight? Are video games art? And we'd say, well, it's just like movies, People would say, no, it's not. You control the story. And we'd say, well, that's better. They'd say, no, it's not better, because now it's no longer a book or a movie, and now it's this interactive experience. And can that be art? And we've well moved on past art video games art. But in the very specific context of movies, where there's unions involved and there's human people involved, and displaced or not by technology and displaced or not by AI, if you watched a movie and a bunch of it was made by AI, that gives you a very different feeling, because, well, first of all, AI movies are bad right now. You can't really string any of it together. But then also, like, you go, hey, well, that was a digital artist that had a job, that was an actual actor or voice actor that had a job. And did we just displace those folks? And there's no more typewriter repair people anymore, really? There's a few. And we've gotten over being upset about the fact that keyboards have taken it over, or voice has taken it over, certain professions. So it's always going to change. But in the realm of, motion, picture, and sound as art, a lot of people think that those are like one of the highest levels of creativity that people can have, right? Painting, music, film, video games. But because it's, video games need a lot of technology, and so do movies, we go, well, let's use the technological tools, but where's the line from, like, this person didn't create the art, this person put in a prompt that many will say stole the art from, assets that were trained on illegally. That's what feels bad. Nobody wants to support theft of someone else's creative work. I mean, some people do. Some people are pirates and they just steal games. They just steal stuff and they don't feel bad. They don't just say, well, I don't have the money, so it's not that the people lost sales when I stole the game. They go, no one deserves to get paid for this. It's just entertainment like that. So it's very difficult to say, well, what's the AI disclosure for Epic Games and what does it mean? So we're not done talking about it. I'll try not to only talk about AI on this podcast. There's another 7 minutes of it or whatever for you today. Okay, let's take a quick break just for me to kind of stretch my legs and voice and pop open this Celsius, and I'll be right back. I mentioned that the video game season is not done yet. There's still a bunch of new releases coming out. One of the ones that's kind of a big release, it's a little bit surprising that it can even run. And then it turns out there's a good reason why that it's difficult for it to run. It takes some extra work to get Assassin's Creed Shadows running on the Switch 2. There's a super in-depth article out there from rpgsite.net that's talking about how the Switch 2 runs. Ubisoft has revealed in a lot of ways, like, what's kind of going to be the experience, but they really go into a deep technical breakdown of how it's going to work on the Switch 2. Example, a lot of times in games on the Switch, you have a different experience, whether it's in docked mode for the Switch or whether it's in handheld, because you get more power running in docked mode. And they're trying to optimize the battery usage on handheld. So it's going to run in 30 frames per second, both in docked and handheld modes, using DLSS for performance and support a variable refresh rate. Now, that's kind of interesting, like that it's going to support VRR, because that means that usually you see VRR, variable refresh rate, only on games that are going to be running past or up to 60 frames per second, or somewhere between 30 and 60. So if it's saying, hey, they're targeting 30 frames per second and it's going to do variable refresh rate, then that means it's not a locked 30. It's not going to be stable. But it will have HDR support, have a touch screen menu navigation. They got rid of ray tracing, no ray traced global illumination. But they do have cross progression, and that's actually the biggest feature for any like large 100-hour game that's going to be coming to the Switch. Is like, hey, can I like progress through the same save file I've already been using on some other thing? Like, that's super important. You don't want to have to restart just because you like to be able to take it with you on the go. Yeah, howlongtobeat.com has Assassin's Creed Shadows at 34.5 hours for the main story. And if you want a completionist run, it's 97 hours. So the likelihood of you having finished the game on any platform is pretty low. There's about 1,000 people that have beat this game on howlongtobeat.com that put in those hours. The expansion, the Claws of Awaji, is supposedly about 14 hours for 100% completion. And it's not coming immediately to the Switch 2. They're going to figure out a way to make it work. But they really dive into like, well, hey, you know, the reason that there's a technical challenge here is that it's really hard to get it run on, you know, to run on these smaller processors. So there's going to be a time when these games probably don't run on the Switch 2. These big games, but they're doing it here. They found a way to make it work. They said they've had to rethink almost everything from the way the world is rendered to how the systems interact, all while keeping the soul of the game intact. I think we're just trying to keep the look and feel of it. The soul is coming along for the ride. So yeah, they've had to really fine tune it, the level of detail, draw distances, and all that stuff. But you know, we'll see. This is the type of game that I'm already playing one samurai game. I can't do another. It's too much. And Ubisoft games historically I've played a ton of them, the Assassin's Creed games, and have rolled off of them after Valhalla because it was just too much game. It's too much. You never feel like you could ever finish it. And they don't want you to feel like you can finish it because they'd like you to. I don't understand why they do this. They sell you cosmetics inside the game. I mean, money, I get it, but it's not a multiplayer game. Just let me earn the cosmetics through playing it. Like, keep me in the game by earning cosmetics. I don't understand, but they'll just sell you the cosmetics, and they've been doing this since at least the Egypt game, where it's like, oh, do you want, you know, this flaming cowl and horse armor? It's like, yeah, that looks cool. How about $20? No. Like, I'm not going to spend. No. So between the games never feeling like you can finish them, they have daily quests in these games now. Like, why are there daily quests in an Assassin's Creed game? So I've definitely rolled off of these. And when you play Ghost of Tsushima and reportedly Ghost of Yote, and you realize just how like thoughtful the map design is, like they don't clutter the map. There's not a billion things on it. You never feel overwhelmed with it. It has this thoughtful rollout of content, and you can earn all the stuff in the game. You go, that's a better game, right? But people still buy the Assassin's Creed games, a ton of them, and some people abandon them. A new article by bignerdgaming.com came out that my top 8 games I abandoned in 2025. I encourage you to check out the article. It's good. Some games on here I never even heard of, they've abandoned, which is fun. I won't go through the whole article here, but I will say, just because it was related, that Assassin's Creed Shadows, just spoiler, is the #1 game they abandoned on the list. And if they said they played it for about 40 hours, and effectively it was just too much. Yeah, too much. The story wasn't as compelling as Ghost of Yote, and I was feeling the burnout even when I was just doing the main missions. Like, yeah, they have bloated those games into just being way too much. So check out that article from Big Nerd Gaming if you want to see the rest of the list. Speaking of like kind of what's left and maybe not what I've abandoned, but like what's left in 2025. Noble News put out this really cool graphic this morning, featured on the show. They kind of customized this list of things that it's like their own personal calendar of like what's coming out that's left. We talked a little bit already that Marvel Cosmic Invasion's coming up, but I already forgot that Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting like a remaster, some upgrades, and I think it's free if you're on like PlayStation Plus. So I'm looking forward to that. That's Tuesday this week. And they have a really nice layout to this. It looks really good on mobile. Looks okay on PC, but they just have a little line item. Assassin's Creed. I gave Assassin's Creed Shadows more time than they did in this visual. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond comes out on December 4th. I think I'm in for that one. I kind of want to know. It's been a long time since I played Metroid Prime on the GameCube. It's the last one I played. Looking forward to that. There's a game down somewhere in here that gets a line item review or a line item listing. Terminator 2D No Fate comes out on December 12th. A lot of stuff comes out on December 12th. The F1 movie with Brad Pitt comes out on Apple TV. And Terminator 2D No Fate comes out. There was one more game on here. I just wanted to say the words out loud. But, there it is. It's only on PC. I'm never going to look it up past this. I don't plan to ever say these words again. There's a video game coming out on December 2nd. Again, only on PC. Called Ultimate Grandma Simulator. I hope it's wholesome. I assume it is, actually. But I don't know. But those words, I feel like I just wanted to say them out loud once. I'm not even going to repeat them. And we're moving on. I realized, though no one called it out, probably because it was a holiday week, that I didn't do the I should really get back to that game segment. So either you don't care about it or you were just busy like I was. We're going to do it today. Welcome to I should really get back to that game because we have games to rank, actually. So this is a sheet that is public. I don't think I have the link in the show notes, but it is a public sheet. I don't mind sharing it for other people to view, and we're going to rank and update some games. So I added some games to the list as I've come across them, either in conversation or just, I've played them or I've seen an advertisement or I was reminded by some post and I should really get back to the game. So some of these are just brand new that I've never played. They're not out yet. Zoo Punk, talked about it last week. It's not out yet. Moonlighter 2, it's out, at least in early access. Pacific Drive, played some of that last week. Vampire Crawler's not out yet. Civ 7, I own it, haven't played it in a while. So we're going to re-rank these new games, see if there's any other updates to the list. Zoo Punk, again, brand new game. I'm probably going to play Zoo Punk because it's not out yet. I'll put it down here under Exodus, which is also not out at 22 on the list. Moonlighter 2 is an interesting one because once I beat Ghost of Tsushima, I do plan to buy at least a month of Game Pass Ultimate. There's so many games that have come out on Game Pass Ultimate that I just want to go sample like a buffet, see if there's any I want to purchase. And Moonlighter 2 is one of them. So I'll probably play Moonlighter 2 right after Bounty Star, which is in the same zone. Bounty Star is on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. You can just buy it, I think, for $20 or $30. But I might as well try it there. So that's Bounty Star and Moonlighter 2. But I'm going to move both of these up ahead of Wizard with a Gun because I played Wizard with a Gun and it's not bad, but I'm probably not going to play it again before I would play this other one. Why can't I move this one? Oh, can I not reorder all of a sudden? There we go. Okay, so Bounty Star and Moonlighter 2 are number 12 and 13. Pacific Drive. This is a good game. I'm definitely going to play more of it. I might play more of it after I play more Battlefield 6. Okay, got that. We'll get our top 5 here in a second. Vampire Crawler's not released yet. Don't know when it comes out, so I'm going to put it after Zoo Punk. Civ 7. Probably before I'll play Sifu. So, but it's back on the list. I was just reminded of it. And let me see if there's anything up here I need to reorder. Morsels is going to go down. I'll probably check that out on Game Pass with Bounty Star Moonlighter 2. It Takes Two is going to go up the list a little bit, I think. Yeah, been playing some of that. And then I don't see the one that we talked about earlier, which was Super Mario Bowser's Fury. Which I don't know, you can't buy it by itself. But it is definitely its own game. Like you could buy Super Mario 3D World just for this and it would be okay. And I'll probably play that before I play any more Battlefield 6, just because my kiddo. And realistically, I definitely going to play some more Arc Raiders. One of the things I realized is that because Arc Raiders is so social, I've been watching more clips of it. I haven't played Arc Raiders since the weekend I bought it, but I want to play it again. But it's very social. Like, you have to be willing to talk to people. And I also want to play it on stream because it's scary to me that at any point I could just get taken out by some other raider. And if a game's a little bit scary to me, I need something to push me to play it or I'll never play it again. So I want to stream it, because if I'm streaming it, I'm going to hit the play button. I'm going to go, So I bought on a Black Friday deal, they had this like really inexpensive wired headset with a mic so that I can have my voice audio get mixed in to the game and that everybody else can also hear the other player audio. Anyway, I feel like it needed to be a little bit, I think I need that for the setup. So I'm still likely to play that very soon. That gives us our new top 5 of games I should really get back to on my list, called I should really get back to that game. Number 5 is Pacific Drive. Number 4, Battlefield 6. Number 3 is Super Mario Bowser's Fury. Number 2 remains Arc Raiders. And number 1 remains Ghost of Tsushima, which has a deadline, December 31st, to beat the game to get the t-shirt. Let's do community spotlight. I would like to thank listeners in a country that I've not recognized on the show yet, and that's Ireland. 0.6% of you that listen to the show listen from Ireland. Ireland was once, if you didn't know, a major manufacturing hub for classic game consoles. The legendary Atari 2600 was, this was from Wikipedia, was manufactured in Limerick starting in the 70s to supply both the Irish market and some exports across Europe. So some of the iconic consoles that defined early gaming culture were literally made in Ireland. We've got a couple of game studios that you might recognize in Ireland nowadays. Keywords Studios, I didn't know them. Havoc, everybody knows Havoc because it's the physics engine that powers a lot of big games. And it's got like that yellow and red logo. And Romero Games. And they have like a game in limbo after Microsoft cut all kind of funding, right? That was founded by John and Brenda Romero. John Romero of Doom fame, among other things. So thank you. If you're listening in Ireland, thank you. So glad to have you along for the ride. I wish I could say something in Irish, but not even going to try. Not because I don't care, just I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, packed show today. That's the show, everybody. Thank you for listening. I'm so glad to have you here along with the holidays. Thanks for just being a part of the show, following me wherever you choose to catch the show, whether that's patreon.com/the Show or Spotify or Apple Podcast, Overcast FM, Pod Addicts, wherever you're going to get the show. Thank you for listening to it and sharing it with other people. I can't wait to see you here next time, or maybe I'll see you online on a live stream. Drop into the chat, say hello. Have a great week. Thanks for listening. See you.